Raccoon stared at the bank account on the screen. Another month, another paycheck, another zero balance 3 days later. Raccoon earned a decent salary. Not rich, not poor, just average. But wealth felt like a country Raccoon would never visit. The truth nobody told Raccoon: building real wealth on an average income isn't just possible, it's predictable. Raccoon just needed to stop doing what everyone else does. Raccoon got paid on Friday. By Monday, $400 had vanished. Raccoon checked the account twice. No fraud, no emergency, just gone. This happened every single month. Raccoon felt like money evaporated from pockets without permission. The problem wasn't income, the problem was invisibility. Raccoon had no system to see where money actually went, so Raccoon tried something new. Raccoon opened a notes app and wrote down every single purchase for 1 week. Coffee, $4. Lunch, $12. Streaming service. Raccoon forgot existed, $15. Gas, $40. A book Raccoon never read, $22. By day 7, Raccoon felt nauseous. The tiny purchases weren't tiny, they were a hemorrhage. Raccoon spent $60 on coffee in 1 week. That's $240 a month. Almost $3,000 a year. On coffee. Tracking was painful, but it gave Raccoon a superpower: awareness. Next, Raccoon needed structure. Raccoon had heard about the 50-30-20 framework. 50% of income goes to needs: rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, minimum debt payments. 30% to wants: restaurants, hobbies, travel, entertainment. 20% to savings and extra debt payments. Raccoon earned $3,000 a month after taxes. 50% meant $1,500 for needs. 30% meant $900 for wants. 20% meant $600 for savings. Raccoon wrote these numbers on a whiteboard. Then Raccoon tracked spending against them for 1 month. Needs came in at $1,400. Good. Wants exploded to $1,300. Terrible. Savings? $100. Raccoon was failing the framework by a mile, but now Raccoon knew exactly where the leak was. Wants had cannibalized savings. Raccoon didn't need to earn more. Raccoon needed to reclaim $400 a month from the wants category. Raccoon started cutting. Not everything, just the things that didn't matter. Canceled 2 subscription services, bought coffee out 3 times a week instead of daily, cooked 4 dinners a week instead of 2, skipped 1 impulse purchase per week. Within 60 days, wants dropped to $900. Savings climbed to $600. Raccoon had just given future Raccoon a $7,200 annual raise without asking the boss for a dime. The paycheck stopped vanishing because Raccoon finally saw where it went. Raccoon had a new problem. Saving $600 a month felt great on paper, but in practice, Raccoon kept forgetting. Or Raccoon would see the balance, feel rich for a moment, and spend it on something stupid. Willpower was a terrible savings plan. Raccoon needed to remove willpower from the equation entirely. Raccoon needed automation. Raccoon logged into the bank account and set up a simple system. Every payday, before Raccoon could even see the money, the bank would automatically move $600 into a separate savings account, not a checking account. A savings account Raccoon didn't have a card for. Out of sight, out of mind, out of temptation's reach. The first month felt weird. Raccoon's checking account looked smaller, but something interesting happened. Raccoon adjusted. Raccoon spent what was there and didn't miss what wasn't. The invisible $600 piled up in the background. After 3 months, Raccoon had $1,800. After 6 months, $3,600. Raccoon had never saved that much money in life. But Raccoon wasn't done. Raccoon worked at a company that offered a 401k retirement plan. The company matched 50% of contributions up to 6% of salary. Raccoon had ignored this for 2 years. That was a mistake. Here's what Raccoon was losing. Raccoon's salary was $48,000 a year. 6% of that is $2,880 annually. If Raccoon contributed that amount, the employer would add $1,440. Free money. $1,440 Raccoon left on the table every single year. Raccoon logged into the HR portal and changed the contribution to 6%. That's $240 per paycheck. It hurt a little, but Raccoon's take-home only dropped by about $180 because the contribution reduced taxable income. Raccoon was paying $180 to get $240 into retirement plus $120 from the employer. That's $360 total for $180 out of pocket. 100% return instantly. No stock, no gamble, no risk. Raccoon also opened a Roth IRA and automated $50 a month into it. Not a huge amount, but consistent. Automation removed the daily battle. Raccoon wasn't disciplined, Raccoon was systematic, and systems beat discipline every single time. The fortress was invisible, but it was growing brick by brick while Raccoon slept. Two years later, Raccoon got promoted. Salary jumped from $48,000 to $60,000 a year, $12,000 more, $1,000 extra dollars every month. Raccoon felt rich. Raccoon celebrated with a nicer apartment. $200 more a month, but worth it, right? Raccoon bought a newer car. The payment went from $250 to $400. Only $150 more, no big deal. Raccoon started eating out more. Guilt-free now. Raccoon earned it. Upgraded the phone plan. Bought nicer clothes. Subscribed to premium everything. 6 months later, Raccoon checked the savings account. It had grown, but barely. Somehow, the $1,000 raise had evaporated. Raccoon had fallen into the salary trap. Lifestyle inflation is a silent wealth killer. Every time income rises, expenses rise to meet it. Raccoon made more, but saved the same. Or worse, saved less, because the new expenses felt permanent. The apartment, the car, the habits, they locked in. Raccoon's lifestyle had inflated to match income perfectly, leaving no gap for wealth to grow. Raccoon realized the mistake fast. The next raise, Raccoon would do it differently. A year later, Raccoon got another bump. $60,000 to $68,000, $8,000 more annually, about $660 a month. This time, Raccoon didn't touch lifestyle. Raccoon increased the 401k contribution by 3%. That pulled $300 a month into retirement. Raccoon boosted the automatic transfer to savings by $200. Raccoon allowed $160 for a slight lifestyle upgrade, a small guilt-free cushion. But the bulk of the raise went straight into wealth building. This is the secret high earners know and average earners miss. Wealth isn't built by earning more. It's built by capturing the gap between what you earn and what you spend. If the gap stays the same as income grows, you just bought a more expensive life, not a wealthier one. Raccoon's friends got raises and bought boats. Raccoon got raises and bought time. Time to retire early, time to take risks, time to say no. The salary trap is everywhere. Raccoon had stepped in it once, but Raccoon climbed out, and Raccoon made sure never to fall in again. Every raise became a wealth injection, not a spending spree. Raccoon had a new obsession, reaching $100,000 in net worth. Not in income, in assets. Money saved, invested, working. Raccoon read that the first $100,000 is the hardest. After that, compound growth does more of the work. Raccoon was at $18,000. 82 to go. Raccoon broke it down. Raccoon saved $7,200 a year in the taxable savings account. The 401k got about $4,300 from Raccoon plus $2,150 in employer match. That's $6,550 in the 401k. The Roth IRA got $600 a year. Total annual savings, roughly $14,300. If Raccoon did nothing else, just kept this pace, it would take about 7 years to hit $100,000 assuming zero growth. But Raccoon wasn't keeping money in a regular savings account long term. Raccoon moved money from savings into a brokerage account every quarter and bought low-cost index funds. Boring, diversified, long-term. The 401k and Roth were already in target date funds. Now the taxable account was too. Historically, the market returned about 7 to 10% annually. Raccoon used 7% to be conservative. With compound growth at 7% and consistent contributions, Raccoon would hit $100,000 in about 6 years, not 7. That felt reachable. But Raccoon wanted faster. Raccoon started looking for extra income. Not a second job. Raccoon was already tired, but Raccoon sold old stuff online. Fixed a neighbor's computer for $50. Did freelance design work twice a month? Small gigs, nothing huge. This added about $100 a month. $1,200 a year. Raccoon threw every dollar of side income straight into the brokerage. No lifestyle inflation this time. Raccoon also optimized taxes. Maxed out the health savings account at the office. Triple tax advantaged. Contributions reduce taxable income. Growth is tax-free. Withdrawals for medical costs are tax-free. Raccoon put in $38.50 a year. That covered all medical expenses and reduced the tax bill by about $500 annually. Raccoon redirected that $500 into investments. Every optimization compounded. Employer match, tax deductions, consistent contributions, market growth, side income. Individually, each piece was small. Together, they were a wealth-building machine. 5 years later, Raccoon logged into the accounts. 401k, 68,000. Roth FRCHRA, 4,500. Taxable brokerage, 29,000. Total, $101,500. Raccoon had done it. The first 100,000. From an average salary. No lottery, no inheritance. Just systems, consistency, and patience. Raccoon's journey wasn't smooth. Before the savings, before the system, there was debt. Credit card debt. Raccoon had racked up $8,500 across 2 cards. Minimum payments were $200 a month. Interest was 22%. Raccoon felt stuck. Every month, Raccoon paid $200 and the balance barely moved. Most of the payment went to interest. The debt felt like quicksand. Raccoon wanted to save and invest, but the debt whispered in Raccoon's ear. Why bother saving at 7% growth when you're paying 22% interest? The math was brutal, so Raccoon made a choice. Pause investing temporarily. Attack the debt with rage. Raccoon kept the 401k contribution at 6% to capture the employer match. Free money is free money, even in debt mode. But everything else, every extra dollar, went to the credit cards. Raccoon used the avalanche method, paid minimums on all debts, then threw every extra dollar at the highest interest card first. That was the card with $5,200 at 22%. Raccoon cut once to the bone. No restaurants, no subscriptions except one. Packed lunch every day, skipped every optional expense. Found an extra $400 a month. Added it to the minimum payments. $600 total toward debt monthly. The first card died in 9 months. Gone. Raccoon felt lighter. The second card had $3,300 left at 19%. Now Raccoon redirected the entire $600 to it. Killed in 6 months. 15 months total. $8,500 of debt, gone. Now the money that was feeding interest started feeding wealth. Raccoon redirected that $600 back into savings and investing. But Raccoon also learned something deeper. Debt wasn't just math, it was emotional. When Raccoon felt stressed, Raccoon spent. When Raccoon spent, Raccoon felt guilty. When Raccoon felt guilty, Raccoon avoided looking at accounts. Avoidance made everything worse. Raccoon broke the cycle by building tiny habits. Checked account balances every morning. Not to judge, just to observe. Wrote down feelings before making any purchase over $50. Waited 24 hours. Most impulse purchases evaporated. Celebrated small wins. Paid off $500. Raccoon made a nice dinner at home. Not expensive, just intentional. Rewired the brain to associate progress with satisfaction instead of spending with satisfaction. Raccoon also kept one credit card open and used it for groceries only. Paid it off in full every month. Built credit without falling back into the spiral. The debt cycle ends when Raccoon stops running from the numbers and starts running toward them. Discipline isn't about willpower. It's about systems, transparency, and tiny wins. Raccoon had escaped, and now Raccoon helped friends do the same. Raccoon had a younger cousin, also a raccoon. Young Raccoon was 23 and just started working, earned $40,000 a year. Young Raccoon asked, "Should I save now or wait until I earn more?" Raccoon pulled out a napkin and drew 2 columns. Column 1, young Raccoon starts investing $300 a month at age 23. Does this for 10 years, stops at 33, never adds another dollar, just lets it grow at 8% annual return. Total invested, $36,000. Column 2, older Raccoon waits until 33 to start. Invests $300 a month from 33 to 65, 32 years of contributions. Total invested, $115,200, 3 times more than young Raccoon. Raccoon did the math. Young Raccoon's account at age 65, about $745,000. Older Raccoon's account at age 65, about $476,000. Young Raccoon invested 1/3 the money, but ended with 56% more wealth. Why? Time. Compound growth doesn't care about how much you invest. It cares about how long the money has to grow. The first dollars Raccoon invests are the most powerful dollars. They have decades to double, and double again, and double again. A dollar invested at 23 becomes $16 by retirement. A dollar invested at 40 becomes $4. Early money is magic. Late money is just math. Raccoon realized this too late to maximize the magic, but not too late to benefit. Raccoon was 30 when the system started. Not 23, but not 50. The lesson was clear. Start now, not next year, not after the next raise, not when debt is zero. Now, even if it's $50 a month, even if it feels pointless. Time is the secret weapon average earners have. Rich people can throw big money at investments, but they can't buy back time. Raccoon couldn't either, but Raccoon could stop wasting the time left. Every month Raccoon delayed was a month of compounding lost forever. So Raccoon started, small, imperfect, inconsistent at first, but started. And that start became momentum. The momentum became a system. The system became wealth. Young Raccoon listened, opened a Roth IRA that week, put in $200 a month, didn't wait, didn't need permission, just started. Raccoon smiled. Young Raccoon had just bought a time machine. 42 years of compounding stretched ahead. Raccoon never became rich overnight, but Raccoon became wealthy over time. The difference. Wealthy is what happens when average income meets exceptional systems. You don't need a six-figure salary to build a six-figure portfolio. You just need to start, stay consistent, and let time do the heavy lifting. Now go automate something. Future you is waiting.